And yes, in our belief, if the two sides can show mutual respect and can stick to the principle of peaceful coexistence and the win-win cooperation, this bilateral relationship can prosper. And as we often say, that the world is big enough to accommodate both China and the United States. It doesn't have to be a zero-sum game between the two countries. So the two sides, as far as I know, now here in New York, as far as I know, the two sides are making preparations for this historic visit. And we do hope that this visit will materialize. So it is incumbent upon both China and the United States to help maintain the international order and to support the role of the UN. And as the biggest financial contributors of the organization, and there are a lot of commonalities in the positions in how the UN is run. Of course, I also hasten to add that the UN is for all member states. So no big power should adopt this approach that the interest of that big country should be put above the interest of the entire membership. But there are things that we do believe that China and U.S. can work together.
If it continues to be closed, how will this overshadow and complicate conversations that President Trump will have in China when he visits Beijing?
I'm sure if the Hormuz is still closed by the time President Trump goes to China, this issue will be high on the agenda of the bilateral talk. And of course, the bilateral relationship between China and the U.S. goes far beyond the issue of Hormuz. And I think it is in the interest of both countries and both peoples. And I may say for the entire world, of the people of the entire world, that China and the U.S. maintain steady and sound and sustainable relationship.
The Security Council has been touching on, trying to deal with, is the war in Iran and the current ceasefire. Can you tell us, what is China's role in ceasefire negotiations? How active has it been? And what is China prepared to do to get the Strait of Hormuz open?
Thank you for the question. Let me first say that I think before explaining China's role in this, we need to be very clear that this situation, the root cause of this situation, is the illegitimate war by the U.S. and Israel against Iran. And this war has wrought tremendous sufferings in Iran for the Iranian people and the neighboring countries. And its ramification runs far and wide. And in particular, the close of Hormuz, and is actually wreaking havoc in the oil market and in the economy of the entire world, in particular in the global south. So China's view is that we need to open the Strait of Hormuz as quickly as possible, and that actually applies to both sides. Iran needs to lift its restrictions on the Strait of Hormuz, and the U.S. need to lift its naval blockade. And I think that is something that we want to say. And in our view, the most urgent issue is to keep the ceasefire. And the ceasefire need to last, and there has to be a good faith negotiation between the two sides. Frankly speaking, we are very concerned about some of the remarks we have been hearing recently about this ceasefire being temporary, about the need to initiate another round of attack. I think the international community should be mobilized and raise our voices against the resumption of fighting in that part of the world. And China's role, China's role, yes, Indeed, China has been advocating for peace, and we are talking to all sides. And our foreign minister has been on the phone almost constantly, and we are also fully behind and support the efforts of Pakistan in facilitating and mediating between the parties. We do hope that these efforts can give positive results.
We have seen multiple exchange of views between China and the U.S. around the Security Council table on the cooperation, military cooperation with Iran. Could you please explain what's your position on the military cooperation between China and Iran?
Oh, Iran, yes. Well, there is no military cooperation between China and Iran. And we know that some of the allegations from some of the U.S. officials, they were false. But we are very sympathetic to what the Iranian people are enduring, which actually as I said, the illegitimate war that is imposed on the people. And we do hope that we're trying our best to see to an end to the fighting, and as much as we can. The charter puts it to save succeeding generations.
播报新闻是我的日常，必须时刻保持妆容和皮肤的最佳状态。当来到人生中最重要的时刻，也是 KS 逆时奇迹帮助我轻松驾驭，闪闪发光。KS 逆时奇迹活肤露全效精华、精华霜，多达5种 EGF 6大冻龄关键成分，保湿效果让我非常满意，小细纹也不再困扰我。我就是我自己的最佳女主角。KS 让我从容自信，光彩动人。我是我人生中的大女主，我的最爱我做主。KS 逆时奇迹系列热卖中，下单请上快点购，透过中天新闻网 App 下单立减50，或输入 CTI 推荐码有额外折扣。